I have notes today, and I just have them because I wanted to make sure I hit all these points. I think it's so important. What is going on with the LA fires? First of all, unimaginable, heartbreaking, shocking, and just sad, but it's also very, very scary. And the big piece I'm taking away right now from what is happening in California, for those of you who don't know, I live in Rhode Island, so on the complete opposite end of the country. You know, many of us are continuing to go on with our lives, but I know that my husband and I have just been watching the coverage of the LA fires nonstop, looking, at what's going on social media. We just feel so sad for everyone who's going through this right now. It is, like I said, unimaginable that this is even happening in our country. So the reason why I'm doing this video today is really about homeowners insurance and how scary is it for these homeowners in Los Angeles and Southern California to know that they are thinking about how in the name of God are we going to cover our losses? What are we going to do? So what just happened was in California, they put a temporary ban on homeowners insurance cancellations for 1 year. And I believe they backdated it to start on October 9th, and they made it through January 7th of 2025. So any homeowners policies that were canceled between those dates, they can't cancel their customers' policies, which is a great thing. And California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara, I think that he has to be commended for doing that, because I've been reading so many stories about homeowners insurance policies just getting canceled, having fire coverage dropped. It's as if someone knew what was coming down the pike. You have to really kind of take a step back and say, did somebody know this was going to happen? Because why would they do that? Why would they cancel fire coverage just a couple of months before this humongous disastrous event happened? It really, really makes you think. You don't want to think that way, but I know my brain went there. It just did. So about 10% of the customers in the Pacific Palisades area were not renewed with their homeowners insurance carrier from 2020 through 2022, which is absolute BS. And I kind of feel like it's more than that, because I feel as if I'm reading these stories all the time. And yes, California is on the other side of the country from where I live, but come on, you got to think about, what if this were to happen to you, or if this were to happen to me? What would we do? What would you do? And of course, all of the talk about the celebrities, oh my gosh, they have millions of dollars, they can recover. I was listening to someone this morning talking about how, there are celebrities who are filming videos from tropical islands, how when they were told to evacuate, they automatically hopped on a jet and took off to a getaway place. Well, the average person can't do that, first of all. And second of all, I guarantee there are some celebrities who will not be able to financially recover from all of this, just like the middle class and, people who are not in the middle class. I don't even know what the middle class is anymore. Do we even have that? I don't even know. I feel like it's just you're here or you're here, and the in-between has kind of grayed out. Do you feel like that? Because I do. Now, insurance companies are advising homeowners to gather all of their paperwork, gather their information. How can you possibly do that if everything you owned was in that fire, and if you were not able to collect your important papers in a time limit that you could get them out of the house and take them with you to wherever you needed to evacuate to? So I just did a video actually yesterday about things you should think about doing in case of a natural disaster, because these, again, some of these people, I was hearing some people had 17 minutes to evacuate from their property. Now, if you have a pet or several pets, family members, some people have elderly family members, they don't move too fast, just saying. And then you've got to, perhaps take some clothes, grab your valuables, and do what you can to make sure you can survive once you've evacuated your property, because you're leaving your property thinking you're never going to go back to it. Now, I know that there have been miracles happening. Neighborhoods destroyed with maybe one or two homes still standing, and if you're one of the lucky ones, that's amazing. But many people were not part of that category, that they were lucky enough to go back to their home. Seeing very, very, very sad stories over the past couple of days, things you just don't even want to think about. So, something to consider, I haven't done it myself, but I will, is to scan your policy number and your policy information, upload it to your cloud, and email it to yourself, so then you have it. Same thing with important paperwork, IDs, passports, birth certificates. Just scan it, take a picture of it, upload it to the cloud, email it to yourself, then it's always going to be there. So I kind of feel like this is another sign to me saying, girl, you got to do this because you haven't done it, and you're, talking to other people about what they should do. Well, I need to do it. And it's definitely something I am going to do. So also, if you have a homeowner's claim, you have to think about, well, how much can they cover at this point? I mean, we're talking what? How many homeowners? I read that over 12,000 structures, and that number's probably going to increase, have been destroyed in these fires so far. 12,000 structures, the average home price in the Pacific Palisades, from what I read, I'm not saying this is accurate, this is what I read, is $3.1 million. 12,000 structures, 3.1 million average home price. Holy moly, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And I don't even think that includes the Eaton fires. I don't even know what the average home price is for that area. And now they are still in danger through Wednesday because of high winds. And another high fire risk is still in effect. I just feel so badly for all of these people. I can't even express to you, just like you, how badly, and you just feel helpless. You feel like, what can you do? What can you do? I will tell you that if you are going to donate, please donate to a reputable organization. Please research who you're giving money to first. Don't just, answer a phone call and say, oh, I'm collecting money for so. Just don't do that. You just have to look into who you're donating to, because the scams are already starting to pop up. Of course they are. People are crazy. I don't know how they can sleep at night. They probably do very well. So State Farm, humongous insurance company, dropped about 4,000 homeowners back in July. Wish the commissioner in California had backdated this ban through July, because did the State Farm customers, were they able to get new homeowners insurance coverage? I don't know. I just don't even know. And like I said, it's as if they knew. It's as if they knew something was coming down the pike. So if State Farm dropped all of those customers, I mean, I think they're off the hook. I don't know for sure, but I would think so, of paying for any of these claims, unless it gets backdated to July, but I don't know if they can do that. You just have to also put yourself in their shoes and say, what are these people going to do? What would we do if our homeowners insurance company dropped us right before or right after a humongous natural disaster? Now, I know that this was happening also in Florida and Louisiana because of hurricanes and floods. Homeowners insurance companies are dropping people left and right. And I don't even know how affordable homeowners insurance is in those areas as well. And I think California is really, really expensive. From what I read, the average price of homeowners insurance in California is $1,900 a year. However, there is a government program. It's a government homeowners assistance program. It's called the California Fair Plan. Now, California has this. I don't know if all states have it. I'm not sure if Rhode Island has it. But through the California Fair Plan, you're going to pay about $3,200 a year to start, depending on how much your home is valued at. And then if you want theft, liability, and whatever other coverage that the Fair Plan does not cover, that's all extra. And that's also going to be double in value. So how can you even afford to have homeowners insurance anymore? I feel like everything is getting so out of reach. I've been hearing stories, people paying $10,000, $20,000 a year in homeowners insurance. That's insane. And then your homeowners company goes out of business or they cancel you for no reason, which they can do. They can do it. And insurance rates have been consecutively raising since 2017. 2017. And I quickly looked at some of the insurers on the stock market. They are in the tanker. I mean, they are just, their stock prices are down the tubes. And you know that some of them are just not going to be able to survive this. What happens then? What happens if you are with a company that goes bankrupt? And the LA fires, like I said, devastating, scary, and you have to pray for everyone, but you also have to look at the realistic side and say, what if there are no more homeowners insurance companies after this? Which, can that happen? I don't even know. I really am not even sure, but it's something that has crossed my mind, because if they can't afford to pay all these people what they're due to get them back on their feet, what happens to these companies? What happens to us? What happens to, our homeowners insurance? Homeowners insurance companies may just disappear. So then are we beholden to the government for homeowners insurance, which they can charge us? Like I said, right now they're charging double. And that's just on the lower end of the spectrum, $3,200 a year. Now, firefighters, they're doing their best. They are stretched to the max, but these men and women are helping as many people as they can with limited resources. We won't get into all of the politics, but I'll tell you what, everything I've seen, what a shame. What a shame. And that's why, there's going to be an uproar. People are going to insist on change from LA's mayor and the governor, and hopefully that change happens sooner rather than later. And I think the people are mad enough and upset enough. Hopefully it will. Hopefully it will. So guys, what would you do if you lost your homeowner's insurance? And what do you think will happen next from all of this in terms of how our homes are protected? Things are changing so quickly, and I really don't know how to wrap my brain around all of this. But I do know that we need to pray for the people in LA. We need to send our strength and our love to each and every one of them. We need to support however we can support. Donate to reputable organizations that you're familiar with. Look into them. Make sure 100% of what they're getting is going to where it needs to go. So let us know in the comments below, what would you do if you lost your homeowner's insurance company? That is scary as anything. Very, very scary, because where are you getting the money from to rebuild? Where is that coming from? Oh, before I go, how many people know about how people in LA, Southern California, are getting help? How I haven't heard anything about that. How they get temporary housing. I mean, I've seen restaurants posting, come in if you're affected from the fire. We'll feed you for free, which is absolutely awesome. And again, that's community helping community. But how are these people who are being affected being helped? Where do they go? What do they do? Is anyone putting them up? I have not seen anything about that. If you have, let me know. I haven't seen a thing. I mean, we should be hearing in these press conferences who people can call, who they can reach out to, what benefit they can get from all of this, because there are families out there with nothing. Very, very scary. Love and prayers to everyone.